Hey, how's it going out there, folks? Welcome back here to a Monday. It is the Earthmaster out here, Monday, November 25th, 2024, Thanksgiving week here coming up, 11:54 a.m. California time here. By the way, the live stream is back up and running. It went down suspiciously just after 3 o'clock in the morning, like always. The live stream was running here for a pretty solid 3.5 weeks. I went to do an update on it yesterday, just update my drivers and whatnot, and sure enough, it went down in a short period there, similar to what I've seen over the last couple years with some issues and the live stream. But it is up and running. We'll see how long it stays up for now. 5.1 earthquake here across this area of the globe. That's going to be an earthquake right outside the border here of the Kazakhstan area and China. 28 miles deep for that earthquake. We'll cover the rest of the earthquake activity here in a little bit. We'll talk about space weather activity. Seen a pretty massive flare out on the eastern limb of the sun, a near X flare from a very active area out there on the northeastern limb of the sun. It's a good possibility this could have been an X flare, with it the sunspot region actually being blocked here from the Earth-directed view. Specifically, that is. So it could have been an X flare, but measured from our stations here as a 9.45 M9.45 flare. So that was coming in, looks like last night here. Let's see what we got here for our sunspots on the visual perspective. I believe it came from this area right here. Notice last night's image, really can't see it over here, right? There's 3908, the secondary sunspot back on the eastern limb, not even visible. This morning, though, looks like we have a little visual of it right now, peeking around the northeastern limb. Quite a bit of complexity here, at least from this little area that I can see. We'll have to watch this in the coming days here, because it could be a very active sunspot area as we venture into this week. Still watching this area down here. These are looking a little disorganized. I know they're morphing and growing and declining into different shapes and sizes here, but there's still a bit of complexity out here, magnetically complex sunspot areas that we need to watch, maybe for some stronger flaring. And we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Of course, the newer region out there on the northeastern limb as well. Aside from that, most of the sunspots out here directly facing the Earth are not a threat for any type of strong flaring. Overall threat right now remains elevated at 20% chance for the X flare due to 3906, 3905. That's that sunspot group over here on the southeastern quadrant of the sun. M flare at 60, C flare around 99% chance or so. No major roars in the forecast, folks, and that large solar flare that blasted off late last night, early this morning, directed away from Earth, so no effects from that. May see some protons. I don't know. It doesn't look like anything stirring up out there for now in terms of proton activity, but I think that would have came and bombarded the planet by now. All right, let's check out earthquake activity, see what's going on out here across the West Coast. A little bit of movement off the Pacific Northwest coast here just after midnight. 4.6 here into the northern edge of the Juan de Fuca Ridge. Couple different types of boundaries out here. The main one, I guess, is going to be a divergent boundary activity, meaning a little bit of separation here of the seafloor over time. That, along with the previous movement down here along the fracture zone, this is a strike slip boundary, adds further strain here across the southern end. Now we got potential further strain up here across the northern end of the Cascadia. We'll want to watch that, see if we see any elevated tremor activity out here indicating further strain on that subduction zone. Pacific Northwest, as far as Washington goes, pretty quiet. One earthquake there, Northern California, just off the 101 near Brick Trails. That is on the coastal fault range here near the Macama Fault. Rest of California, pretty quiet there in terms of the Bay Area. Creeping segment of the San Andreas Fault, pretty quiet as well. A look at the 2.5 model shows a 2.8 on the Let's see here. Looks like it is on the creeping segment of the San Andreas Fault. But that's about the only one above 2.5 out here. The rest of these earthquakes here on the map, all microquake activity. Nothing major going on here across Southern California for now. No unusual activity to note there. Pacific or the northwestern area of Wyoming. Of course, that's Yellowstone National Park. Pretty quiet. Nothing showing up there. But let me double check here. Go over to the Yellowstone overview. Pretty simple layout of all the seismograph stations out here. And not seeing a whole lot of earthquake activity. A lot of environmental noise out there. Could be wind, could be rain, snow, ice. As far as earthquake activity goes, not a whole lot going on there across that area for now. I find it weird last night that the stream went down out of the blue for some reason, you know, after running almost for a month solid with no issues. Just very odd. Of course, I did leave a lot of these windows open last night. I think I left a couple Yellowstone stations up there. That's an open network to my computer here. If there happens to be a bad guy on the other side, not saying there is, but you know, leaving an open connection like this, even to the USGS, is an open connection if you keep the window here keyed up, because this page is always updating automatically. But still, I got to figure this out. It's been bugging me. As far as the east goes, it looks pretty quiet out here. Not a whole lot going on. Some movement there from yesterday. One earthquake out in the New Madrid seismic zone there from yesterday as well. So somewhat a quieter day out here across the North American plate. South America looks to be fairly active down here today. A lot of white rings indicating that newer activity. Mostly 2s and 3s. Nothing big. A little earthquake there in the Ecuador Trench of 4.0. That's going to be right about here. Nothing showing up there from the USGS map, but it is on the globe. Some activity there across the Middle America Trench, and looks like some movement here working its way up, trying to work its way up here along the plate boundary just off the tip of the Baja California area. We'll watch here, see if we don't get any further movement northward towards California here today. Deeper, older activity here across the Tonga Trench. A lot of that from late last night. Still absent an earthquake activity here across the Papua New Guinea area and the Fiji region, right about in this area. Although, I think it was yesterday, we had a little earthquake fill in there. I believe it was 11:20. It was one of these quakes down here. But this is still somewhat quiet. If you look at even the last 7 days of earthquake activity, it really hasn't filled in here in terms of earthquake movement. And it's a major plate boundary. A lot of strain and stress gets put on this region following the activity back here. The deeper and the shallower adjustment adds further strain across that plate boundary. Japan a little bit more active up here today. A couple 4s and some 5s around the Izu Trench. We got, let's see what we got here for the latest one, 5.2, 71 miles deep here. A little bit further south than these previous 2 earthquakes there from yesterday. Watch this area here around the Kumano Ridge. Still looking at quite a bit of strain building up on it. That's a pretty deep earthquake there. 211 miles deep for a 4.4 from late last night. I believe that's going to be associated there with the Kumano Ridge. This is a region that the Japanese government here put out a mega quake warning for a couple months back here. We had a 7-pointer and a bunch of other earthquakes stir up here across the southern end of this major subduction zone. And all the activity here recently putting the strain on this major area that can produce a megaquake, upwards of 8 and higher in this region. And the Japanese folks there put out a higher probability of seeing a megaquake here on this subduction zone soon. So we'll continue to watch that. That's just another deep earthquake here into the northern edge of that Kumano Ridge. The Mediterranean area, a couple 4s out there today, a little bit more active than yesterday. Nothing major going on, but like any other area around the globe and the world, it is a seismically active zone. Always seeing earthquake activity. The Atlantic Ocean, pretty quiet out there. One little quake out in the Azores region that looks like 2.5 from yesterday. Alaska, pretty quiet up here. Let's see what else we got. some deeper activity out here across the area. A lot of deep activity. Let's see where that's at. Really not showing up here on the USGS map, but it's going to be outside of eastern Afghanistan region. Maybe Pakistan area. Quite a few deeper quakes there raised off the globe. That's definitely some deep movement out there. All right, let's go check out Iceland here real quick. Live from Iceland is the site to check out for a visual perspective of the eruption, if it's still going. Let's go see what's going on out there. We'll key this up and make the screen a little bit larger. Looks like we're still active. Looks like there's some fountaining going on still, so the eruption is continuing there across the area. I see some spill over there from that crater where the lava's coming out of. So we know that's ongoing. As far as the latest information there from the Icelandic news agency, let's go check it out here real quick. This update was put out yesterday, it looks like. Still looks like it's going. The activity has not decreased as quickly as in previous eruptions. That's interesting because a lot of the eruptions in the past year, have been a volume of depletion of magma from below. So some spectacular fountaining, but then it depletes really quickly. And the eruption only lasts for a couple days before it builds back up, over the next couple months. So this one, a little bit slower, as they're stating. That means that we could see this linger in a slow fashion there for a little bit. Looks like lava flow still putting the strain on the berms around the Blue Lagoon area and the Svartsengi region. So, it's just they're doing the best they can to keep the area safe, the Blue Lagoon and the power plant out there. So we'll just continue to watch it. I mean, no escalation of the eruption right now. Just another Iceland activity event going on. All right, let's see. Quick glance here at any asteroid approaches on this Monday. Let's see if we got anything stirring up out here. Any close proximity asteroids? That's a pretty decent one here. 310-foot building-size asteroid coming in within about 500,000 miles from the planet. That's close, but still safe. Looks like on the 26th, so for tomorrow, a couple other asteroids out there as well. I normally don't get too excited unless we see roughly about 50,000 miles from the planet or lower. Then I'll break out the orbital viewer and we'll do some investigating on that near miss or near hit asteroid that would be passing the planet. But we're pretty safe out there for now, according to the ones that they're monitoring. No severe weather outlook here today, just general thunderstorm activity here across a good portion of the east. And looks like extreme northern California and southwestern Oregon up there along the coastline. Glance here at the numerical models. I know these guys looking at some colder air dipping down here. Let's take a look and see what we got from that low pressure system. A little bit of warmer temperatures along with some rain, snow up north of the low around the Great Lakes. Southern California getting in on some rainfall here in the next couple days. They've been gypped. They've been getting skipped here for the precipitation over the last atmospheric river that we've observed here along the west coast. Now it's their turn to get a little bit of rain down there around Bakersfield, San Joaquin Valley area. Extreme Southern California, really not expecting much for you guys, but might get a few showers there around Los Angeles, San Diego area. After that, look at this massive low pressure system building in the area. A lot of colder air. We're talking about temperatures. Let's see what we got here for the anomaly. Look at that. Wow, we're talking about 20, maybe more than that, degree departure from normal, from average here. So if your average temperature this time of year runs about 50 degrees, well, you could be looking at maybe seeing about 30 degrees there or so. So 20 degrees departure from average across a good portion there of the east here. Goodness, that's a lot of colder air coming in. As far as any rainmaker goes after the system there in California, well, goodness, I'm hoping things change, but the extended models are not showing me anything that would tell me that we're looking at a change out here. There's just a massive high pressure ridge building up out there in the area, and I'm not liking it one bit. That keeps us dry, and December can be one of our wetter months out here, so we need some rainfall, even though we got a whole bunch recently. Let's get some more in there. Let's see what we got going on. Massive high pressure ridging. There's our low pressure right now, bringing the rain into Southern California. That gets squashed by a massive high pressure. They're building off pretty much right over Northern California, Oregon area, keeping all the systems at bay. Of course, in the high pressure ridging along the west coast, a lot of the cold air gets dipped down here between the pressure gradients of the jet stream, and that's where we see that brutal cold air coming down for the eastern portion of the country. And man, I'm not seeing any major change. It almost looks like it wants to stay this way for a little bit. That's a dominant pattern out here for the west coast, and I do not like that. So I don't know if I have to get outside and do some more rain dances or what, but this thing needs to go away. I'm not a fair weather guy. Get out of here. All right. Let's see here. Seismograph stations are there. A little earthquake in Dinsmore, California. That's up north here, Northern California. A little spike of an earthquake. Could it be that earthquake there? Let's see, 1.9 at 11:16. 11:16. No. So that's a little newer quake popping up there around Dinsmore. But I'm not seeing it showing up out here anywhere. So that's definitely a super small earthquake, nothing big. We'll watch things here today, folks, see how it plays out. Really nothing major at all out here right now. There's a couple hotspot regions we have to watch, but we'll see how today goes. In fact, the largest magnitude here in the last 24 hours is going to be a 5.2, and that's actually pretty low in the terms of the magnitude out here around the Izu Trench. Kumano Ridge. Keep an eye on that area, though, for sure. Deeper activity, strain adding up against the subduction zone. It's been a couple hundred years, I think, or close to it, since they've seen a big earthquake out here. So we'll watch that area. Have a good Monday, folks. Just about back to normal here. In terms of my voice, I can feel it. I'm not coughing as much. It seems to come a little bit later at night for some reason. But I'm getting better, yes. I appreciate all the positive vibes coming out this way. And, of course, garlic and vitamin C. Some good stuff there in terms of boosting up the immune system. Have a good day, folks. We'll catch you guys back out here. Again, live stream is up and running. I'll keep an eye on it. A lot of times here, there'll be a series of shutdowns for some reason. It's almost like someone's bored and they want to see how many times they can bring down my live stream in a short amount of time. So hopefully that's not the case. I didn't have any issues with my internet last night, but something brought the stream down. I don't know what it was. If I did, then I'd have an answer to all these issues over the last, few years here. But it seems to be a constant. Although the last live stream there lasting for, almost a month, no issues whatsoever. As soon as I do an update, it's almost like something resets that gives that person access somehow to shut the stream down. So I don't know. I haven't figured it out, but we're watching it closely. Have a good Monday. We'll catch you guys back out here a little bit later on this evening, folks. Take care.